Wow, they watching the Travel Channel and they were visiting this goat farm. Just beautiful, beautiful white goats. And yeah, just great. I'm gonna make breakfast. I have kind of the day off. My family is over. Well, my cousin's over, and like my mom's sick, so it's just it's my day off. There's people over. They're sick. They're like, oh, we're leaving at 9 to go do some stuff, and it's like 10, 30. Everybody's here still. I'm like, I thought you guys were leaving at 9. Everybody's lingering, but it's. I don't want to be, the grumpy fucking dude with the day off, but it's, I thought everybody was going to leave at 9. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, I got to go I got to run some errands today too. So anyways, I recorded my first hip hop song last night. And I was recording this bass line for this other new song. And it's kind of complicated. There's like, slap of the bass, it's just a complicated bass riff. And there's 3 bass riffs in this song, and they're kind of each sort of techy a little bit. So anyways, I finally, after trying to lay down this bass line for an hour, I finally laid it down and, perfected it and recorded it. And then I was just kind of just messing around and just randomly playing to the track that I recorded and came up with this other bass line that sounded, I mean, I don't know if it sounds hip hop, but I mean, it kind of does, but if a white punk rocker did a hip hop bass line, that's how it sounds. So it kind of has like a Beastie Boys vibe. Kind of sounds, like that artist Peaches. It's got that heavy distorted bass. So anyways, I, then just started kind of, rapping over it. And I'm not a hip hop artist. I don't even listen to hip hop. I don't even really like a lot of hip hop. I like Snoop Dogg. I like some Too Short, some Digital Underground. But I'm not really Beastie Boys. I like the Beastie Boys. I'd listen to the Beastie Boys. The Beastie Boys is probably the only hip hop group I would listen to on my free time. Like if it came on Spotify, I would listen to the song. But I don't listen to really any other hip hop. And so when I'm rapping, it it sounds very old school. It sounds very early 90s. And it kind of has like a Too Short vibe. And then I sound kind of like Snoop Dogg a little bit because I don't naturally rap. So I'm kind of basically more or less just sounding like Snoop Dogg because he's one of the few rappers that I actually like, But anyways, I recorded it. I recorded a hip hop song, and some of it's kind of has this cheesy, like when Blondie rapped in the late 80s when she rapped at the end of Rapture. It kind of has that feel to it, or like I said, Too Short, where it sounds very like old school. But I don't know. I think it sounds all right though. I'm still gonna release it. I think it's a good song. It's kind of a funny song, I was talking about that, funny music, joke music. It's kind of like that. Not completely. There's a lot of bad music on Spotify. I'm sorry, but I'm not talking about hip hop. I'm talking about Midwest emo, fucking hick music. Just everything about it just seems like some stupid fucking joke. You know, the name of the band, the album artwork, the music, it just sounds like trash. It sounds like shitty trash, hipster, emo fucking music. And you could tell these motherfuckers never lived in the city. They don't have anything really to worry about. They're from some small town. Everything's a fucking joke to them. And you could hear the difference from people that write music that, you know, I grew up in Southern California, Orange County. You know, I lived in Hollywood for a while, lived in Portland. You could tell the difference, people writing music that live in 15-minute cities versus people that live in the fucking middle of nowhere and they've never lived in a city. You could hear it in their music. It sounds like joke music. Or it sounds like country. It's laid back. It sounds carefree. It doesn't sound stressed out. So they don't have the frequencies of a heavily populated city. I think I'm gonna make some breakfast real quick. I swear I was gonna talk about some things today. I forgot. Really don't like this pan. This is an old. We've probably had this pan in the family for, you know, like 35 years. This is the new one that I brought from Portland, and I bought this one, but I cooked with it last night. You know what? I'm just gonna wash it real quick. I don't want to cook with this little pan. Me trying to restrain myself with. Once you kind of dive into the conspiracy world and you realize that a lot of it's not conspiracy, it's kind of difficult to go along with the program. So I am going to release a hip-hop song I recorded yesterday. And it might be the only hip-hop song I ever release. Kind of sounds like Redneck Too Short. With a little like hip hop flair. And it, you know, it has a little bit of a punk rock vibe. It does. Just all my music kind of sounds punk rock because that's what I started with. Those are my roots. Okay. Yeah, I'd much rather cook with this stick-free pan than I think today I'm just gonna do just some eggs and pastor pork. Honestly, I don't even think I'm gonna put cheese on the eggs. I usually do. I don't feel like eating, you know, cheese this morning. You gotta listen to yourself. Just because you have something doesn't mean you should eat it. You gotta vibe with it. Phone's turned around, can't see any comments if anybody's watching your comedy. Sometimes I go live, there's hundreds of viewers, and other times I go live, there's nothing, nobody. I have a song being released on the 19th called Stand Up For Yourself. It's got a 60s sort of rock vibe to it. And then I have a song on the 13th called Time of Flowers. Very, very 90s mod rock. That's coming up. I got 2 songs being released in January. And then I'm constructing my album. My album Dark Country should be released in the middle of the year. A lot of the songs are recorded, but my engineer is mixing, mastering, and basically making the song sound good. And he also does keyboards and he does drums, and he does more than just mixing and mastering. My buddy in Portland. So if you listen to Orange Night, he was involved with that song. The Hype, he was involved with that song. Inside and Out, he was involved with that song. Priest and Apostate. Basically, all the songs that sound good, with good recording, he's basically. Oh, The Cave. The Cave, we actually recorded that in person together. That's my favorite song I have out on Spotify is that one. That personally, that's my favorite song. So I wrote that bass line. So yeah, I wrote the bass line, and then I obviously did all the guitar. There's 2 guitar tracks on The Cave. If you listen to it, each track has its own sound. So there's only 2 guitar tracks on The Cave, and they kind of go back and forth. And then he programmed all the drums and did, I don't even know what it's called. I don't know, whatever effects or whatever instruments. Everything else. So I did the guitar and the bass. And then he did the drums and mixed everything, mastered everything. Oh. Yeah, hip hop is its own. Hip hop really is its own thing. I mean, I'm not going to say it's. Oh, hey, what's up, everyone? Happy New Year. Sorry, I'm just seeing that right now. Happy New Year. Oliver Ramirez, Angel Plays. Hello, Christina Hooper, 8230. What's up? Mary, Catherine, Cordero. What's up? Kotish, Ivam 67. Yo, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. That's right. It's going to be 2026 tomorrow. It's going to be 2026 tomorrow. I'm going to need an alternate, personality if I start doing hip hop. I was even rapping, and, I'd like rap a few bars and then I'd listen to it and it sounds just so dorky. So I'd have to like put some something on there, and put some attitude to it. But it's so hip hop is it's similar to punk rock in the sense it has a lot to do with attitude. It's not so much what you're playing, but how you're playing it. Um, that's how it is with hip hop. It's not really, people are like, oh, that beat's so basic and this shit is so dumb, but it's like, it's the attitude you put behind the music, just like punk rock is really basic. And people are like, oh, that sounds like shit, the guitar, it just sounds, but they're like going for that sound. They want it to sound like shit. It's part of the attitude. Yeah, so I totally fucked this up. I put butter in there and I didn't even let it. It's supposed to be a stick-free pan, this was more stick. When I bought this in Portland, this pan, and I mailed it here. Pastor. I mailed this. I mailed this cooking pan from Portland to Arizona. I took what I wanted to I remember when I moved from Portland and I mailed a box. The box was like this high. It's like a 5 foot by 5 foot box. There's a lot of heavy items in there. I had to tape it really good because it would just fall through the bottom. And I had a dolly, and I dollied it to FedEx. And then I had, at least 3 or 4, smaller boxes with stuff. But I remember that big box. It was unbelievably expensive, because they go by weight. So I remember when I first brought it there, it was packed. And it was like $900 or something to mail it. I'm like, that's ridiculous. I'm not paying $900 to mail some stuff. So then I went back and took some of the stuff out and put it in smaller boxes. They said it'd be less money if you have some of this in smaller boxes. And then I came back and it was like $450 to mail the big box, and then it was like $60 for each small box or whatever. So saved a little money, but it's expensive to move, and this is why people get stuck in 15-minute cities. That's what they want. They want you to be some kind of fucking debt slave, where you just make enough money to pay rent. You know what I mean? You make enough money just to pay rent, pay your cell phone bill, have, food, have some food money just right on the line every month. So you're stuck, basically. And then they're like, well, be grateful. Be grateful you have an apartment, because a lot of people are homeless. A lot of people are sharing, rooms with people and stuff. And they play this whole grateful game, and it's really expensive and inconvenient to move. And then you're usually on a lease and stuff. So it's just, they want people dependent and stuck in these mind control centers with this harsh secular frequency. So I had to pull the trigger, and I was like, I'm fucking out of here. I finished my lease. I completed it. I paid the last month. And these apartment complexes want to guilt trip you, like, do you want to sign another lease? And they make it really difficult to move out. Like, we have to do a walkthrough, and we have to do this, and you have to meet up to these. It's like, fuck you, motherfucker. How about that? How about go fuck yourself? Because when you're renting at an apartment, you're just throwing away the money. They're investing it, but you're just throwing it away. This is why I live in a house now, because every time the mortgage is paid, there we go. Every time the mortgage is paid, it's going to an investment. Even though this is a small house, it's a new house, and at least the money is going somewhere. Even a car devalues very quickly as soon as you drive it off the lot. But at least every time you make a payment, you're putting money into something you could owe, or that you do owe, that you own, and then you could trade it in or whatever. Yeah, apartments are a total scam. It's like a lot of things in this country. I mean, they use scare tactics to make everybody pay taxes, and then they funnel billions of dollars to other countries and to support wars and all this shit that you never agreed on. It's like nobody's like going to work going, yeah, I'm working to support and financially fund wars going on in the Middle East to protect my freedom. It's like that is all a fraud. All the military, that they're scam artists, and they're just basically bullying and taxing people, and nobody even knows. They're just like, pay your taxes. You know, they don't tell you what they're using it for. It's extortion. That's what it is. It's extortion, and that's why really wealthy people, they're smart enough to not pay taxes, like freaking Tesla. You know, he figured it out. I mean, there's ways to get around paying taxes legally, and then there's also, you could just not pay your taxes and save for religious rights. You know, I don't want to financially support wars that have nothing to do with me. You know, I'm not saying fucking who's right or wrong over there. I'm not saying I don't even fucking care. You know, that's over there. I don't want to spend any money, you know, supporting anything overseas. It's absurd that they decide like, oh, we're gonna collect billions of dollars in taxes, and we're just gonna give 100 million over here and 100 million over here, and the people have no say in it. That's extortion. Literally, that's the definition of extortion. And then threatening to take people's cars, to withhold their paychecks, you know, to slander and tarnish their name because they're not supporting your little fucking agenda that you've made up in your meetings. Like, well, I think we should send 50 million over to this country for this reason. Does everybody agree? You know, it's stupid. Okay. So the breakfast is basically done. I did say hi to everybody. I know the phone's turned around, so I didn't really acknowledge y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all were saying hi, and I'm going off on fucking how my hip hop sounds like Too Short meets Snoop Dogg. Yeah, there's a couple Too Short songs I like. I like Too Short. I Ain't Trippin'. It's a good song. And what's that really good song he did? Doon 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 doon. That song's dope. I go on and on. Can't understand how I last so long. I must have superpowers. See, that song is great. You know what's funny about hip hop is, and I was saying this 20 minutes ago, it's the technical aspect of the musicianship. It's the attitude behind it. Just like punk rock. Hip hop is actually really similar to punk rock. It's counterculture. It's against the system. It's about the attitude. It's about the scene. It's about like the collective group conscious of the music scene, more so than just like, oh wow, that was so technically amazing. Whoa, dude, did you see that technical guitar riff he played? You know, like a lot of mainstream metal and stuff. Because it's like especially back in the day, people are like, oh, hip hop, that's so stupid and all this shit. But it's like, you try to do it. You try to come out with a fucking hip hop song that everybody likes, that sounds good, It's a lot harder than you think, because I was doing a hip hop song last night, and it was like I had to keep I wrote some. The bars I wrote were just something I made up last night. It is pretty cheesy. I mean, kind of. Happy New Year 2026. Almost. The meat's good. Marinated pork. Pastor. You know, when you cook, sometimes less is more. This is literally just 2 eggs and marinated pork. And I could have put green chilies and salt and pepper and cheese and avocado. I could have done all this stuff to this breakfast, but sometimes I just like the basic ingredients. I think the reason everyone is so tired and confused is because they've been poisoning us for 30 years. Because when you control the food supply and you could weaken the people, they're too tired to think for themselves because they have to work and pay rent and all this stuff. They did that with the slaves, is they fed them in ways where they were not strong enough to. And that's what they're doing with refined sugar. They've been putting refined sugar, corn syrup, fake sugar in everything, and people were drinking the shit out of that and eating all this food with refined sugar and corn syrup in it for 15 years before even anybody knew what it was. That's why everybody's obese in this country. And if they're not obese, it doesn't matter because it still affects your mind, the sugar. All diseases, are stemmed from sugar, especially processed sugar. Like literally all of them: diabetes, glaucoma, Alzheimer's, cancer, gingivitis. Like literally almost every fucking disease you could think of is caused by refined sugar, corn syrup. And there's going to be people like, well, that's not true. The doctors don't say that. It's like, yeah, they're not going to fucking tell you the truth, you fucking dumbass. I took a test. The doctor says I'm not contagious. It's like they don't fucking give a shit. Have you ever worked in the medical field? All those nurses and shit, they all smoke cigarettes or drug addicts. They don't give a fuck when people die. These are the people that were giving everybody vaccine shots and literally, trying to kill people with this experimental fucking solution that people are still getting sick and dying from. And I work with people at my job and they're like, dude, ever since I got that vaccine, this certain condition I have is worse. And there's all these people that are all fucked up from it. Okay. So, it's funny how people are so quick to be like, well, that's not what the health field says about this. Yeah, really? You're going to believe them? It's a game. The digital currency has no tangible value. Digital currency has no tangible value. The pharmaceutical industry, the food and beverage industry, mainstream news, they're all working together to just fuck with you. And instead of fucking researching shit and making your life better, you're more concerned about fitting into the group conscious. Well, I don't want to be weird. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. You're more worried about what people that you don't even fucking know think about you than your own fucking salvation and your own well-being. It's a numbers game. These influencers are idiots. All their followers are fake. Poor thing, she's fucking shaking. She wants this meat so bad. Just, I'm gonna give you the rest of it, baby. Just wait like 1 minute, let me eat. I love you. I know. I'm gonna have to go get some more meat for her at the store today. She eats human food. I know, she eats dog food too, but okay, I'm gonna give you the rest of this. That's a lot left, baby. That's a really lot of good portion left for you. Okay, come on, Ginger. They always have some fucking idiot. There's always some idiot that doesn't directly work for the government, but they create these bot accounts and they'll comment and try to belittle you and gaslight you if you say anything about Israel and the genocide that's going on over there. If you say anything about the staged crisis events, you know, just all of this staged speculative science, the dino narrative, just this whole fucking thing to create this alternate reality to keep people down and to drain them of their God-given connection to Earth and God and other people. If you say anything against it, there's always some stupid fucking meta YouTube piece of shit motherfucker that makes probably $25 an hour. Like, oh, create some bot accounts and just fucking troll this guy for a year. You know? Well, surprise, motherfucker, because the truth is out. People are waking up. You know, people are like, whoa, this is a slave system. You know, it's supposed to be America, and it's the most spiritually oppressed country on the planet. Literally, America is the most spiritually oppressed, physically malnourished, ignorant country on the planet. And do some fucking traveling and figure it out, because when you're in Europe and you're other places and you tell people you're American, like, they don't even want to fuck with you, because they're like, oh, you're not only are you dangerous, you're a fucking idiot. That's why when I travel, I tell people I'm Canadian. I do. I tell people I'm from Canada. Yeah. I don't even know how Canadian people talk. They're like, yeah, Canadian. So I'm going to wrap this live up because maybe I'll go live later tonight after New Year's or something, but I got to keep it positive. You know, even the New Testament says, you know, everybody's going to be under, you know, deception and delusions in the end times. And it even says to allow it, to not interfere with the shit show that's going on. It literally, there's a couple verses in the New Testament that says something about how God has allowed, you know, the grand deceptions of the end times and stuff. It makes you wonder. Sometimes I'm like, man, is the God of the Bible actually like the devil? You know, because according to Jesus, you know, all the synagogues and the Jews are the satanic order on earth, you know, so, and their God is supposed to be, you know, the God of the Old Testament. So you wonder, like, okay, so there's the whole conspiracy that, like, the good God might actually be the bad God, and the bad God might actually be like the good enlightened God. But sometimes, honestly, I feel like there's just one bad God. I don't even I don't even think there's like, oh, the good God, the redeeming good God, and then the bad God that's fucking with our food and all the manipulation and all the espionage and all this the evil you feel in the world is from the bad God and the people that are not Christian. And then sometimes I'm thinking, well, a lot of this propaganda and stuff, it's all comes from churches. You know, they treat animals horribly. You know, they're treat women like shit. You know, so I'm thinking, well, maybe there's no good and bad God. Maybe it's just one fucking super bad God. Or maybe there's no God at all, which is more likely the truth. I know there's definitely a spiritual world. I mean, I've had things happen in my life that break the laws of science and all rational thought, you know. And I know a lot of us have, and a lot of us have experienced things, and we know there's something out there. There's something beyond this realm of reality in time and space. So, but I do know there's sometimes a harshness towards Christians. You know, if you're a Christian, you know, you're gonna have people at your workplace or in your neighborhood that just don't like you, that just fucking hate you, will say all sorts of bad things about you, and you're wondering if it's because maybe the Bible is right and Christ, God, is gonna come back and basically punish them and send them to hell. So they're not just jealous that you're in the spirit and that, you know, you feel good about life. It's not just jealousy. They're scared. They're like, fuck, your God is literally, they're thinking that your God is going to kill them and punish them forever. And they really feel it's coming. So that's another reason why you might experience some discrimination, you know, if you're a Christian, because these people, like, they know their time's running out. You know, I'm pretty sure. I mean, the way the planet is and stuff with, I mean, something's coming. I mean, we were all really feeling it like a couple of years ago. I think whatever is coming might have stopped coming, but like a couple of years ago, everybody's like, man, this is fucking it. You know, people were feeling that way for sure. So I mean, maybe there's some secret fucking wars going on, you know, to keep mankind. Because you know, the whole COVID thing was insane. Like, I just gave her meat, and then she just lushes out and just lays on my lap and wants me to rub her after I give her a bunch of meat. Like, how cute she is. Babies. Yeah, if any advice, man, don't, your friends and family, I mean, they're trying to hold you hostage in this group conscious. If I could do it all again, I would have just finished college and gotten a really good paying job, because if you're financially independent, you don't have to join a fucking church. You don't have to rely on a community. You don't have to be like, oh, I have to stay with my family for a year and then you have to deal with somebody in the bathroom and stuff. Like, become financially independent and you don't have to fucking fuck with anybody. It's called fuck you money, you know? Your family wants you to come to the saying, nope, fuck you. I have my own life. I have tons of money. Your job's like, oh, do this. Nope, fuck you. I quit. I have tons of fucking money. I don't need to work here. So yeah, I mean, somehow try to hack through this whole like slavery fucking indoctrination system and become financially independent and move out of the city and into the country and do fucking research. You know, find the truth about things and then and expose it and then just fuck with the system. Fuck, they say get in the system. It's all dark. You want to stay as far as away. 15-minute cities like Portland, California. I mean, the frequencies there are if you can't feel it, if you don't have the spiritual discernment. And if you're driving around Southern California and you don't feel whatever that is, then you're already dead. You're already dead because those cities are dark. they're fucking dark people. And then secular people, oh, there's just people living, dude. It's just a densely populated place, and there's just a lot of people. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like, dude, you don't feel it, man. You're not connected, then. You don't feel what's going on. This is why a lot of people like to go to like Italy. People like to go to other countries and stuff that don't have that frequency. Because in America, we've indoctrinated people outside of the church. So it's like people always talk shit about Catholicism, but countries that are heavily Eastern Orthodox and stuff, they're nice, safe places to live. It's like America is this heretical wastebasket of fucking crazy people that are like all hyped up on politics and just, yeah, I would definitely, if I had the finances, I would move out of this country. Absolutely. Because a lot of people, when you start bitching about the country, they're like, well, fucking move out then. It's like, yeah, I fucking would. If you didn't fucking tax and oppress me my entire life and fucking make it impossible for anybody to make money or fucking live a good life, it's like, yeah, everybody would fucking move out of this country. Give it back to the fucking Indians. The American dream, they say the American dream for a reason, because it's not fucking real. It's a staged concept that is not even real. Even what they teach us in school, it's just all staged. It's a dream. They're trying to create another reality, and they're not trying to. They already did. They literally already created another reality. And when you know that, it's like the Matrix or something. You walk around and you could see like, oh, this person's plugged in, this person's plugged in, this person's fucking delusional, plugged in. And then every now and then you meet someone and they actually know some shit. Like, oh yeah, you fucking know some shit too. And then you meet someone that really fucking knows some shit. It's a baby. She's so cute. Yeah, you think it's a mistake that they've been glamorizing promiscuous behavior and marijuana and stuff in pop cultures, movies, and music. It's all connected, They get everybody drinking alcohol, smoking weed and shit. They can control their minds. It's mind control. She's lushing out so hard. Another thing that's fucked up is like when you're growing up on like when you're on the poor side of life, like minimum wage, $40,000 a year, just barely able to pay your car payment, your apartment and stuff. They always tell you like, oh, 95% of the world is, living paycheck to paycheck and shit. That's not true. There's a lot of people in this country with a lot of money. I would say it's more like 60% of the people are living paycheck to paycheck, but I'd say a good 40% of people that have a lot of fucking money. I mean, especially outside of, major metropolitan cities, like Southern California, Chicago, New York and stuff. Like if you go out to North Arizona, I mean, there's just millions of people here with lots of money, ranch homes, there's a lot of people with a lot of money in this country. It's just what they do is when you're part of that 60% poorish, $50,000-$60,000 a year, they're telling you like, oh, everybody's like that, dude. Don't worry, dude. Be grateful, dude. Be grateful, bro. You got a job, $21 an hour. That's good, man. You got a full-time job, dude. You got a car. Be grateful. They've programmed us to accept, the bare minimum, and it's shameful. When people work full-time and they barely have enough, You know, it's shameful. It's degrading. And they want you to think like, oh, 95% of the people are just like you, brother. Keep working, dude. You know, 21 an hour, dude. Work hard. You know, and really a lot of this country, they're not working. They have residual income. They're doing stocks and bonds. You know, they have property. They have assets. Poor people buy things. Rich people buy assets. Okay, so they've kind of wrapped everybody into this faulty bank system of debt slavery, and they made it normal. Again, they've created an alternate reality. They've even warped your mind on our present, like actual fucking physical reality about, you know, our earth and stuff. They've literally created an alternate reality, and they're literally trying to bring you down and poison you on top of it with all the refined sugar and corn syrup. So they're like, well, let's fucking poison them. Debt slaves. Let's keep them running on a fucking, like they're fucking circus monkey animals, like going through this fucking fun maze, this fun house. And then there's like the little fucking influencers that are like, you know, acting like little clowns and going, oh yeah, it's all good. Oh, that's so relative, bro. That's funny, bro. You know, keep it pushing, bro. Yeah, let's just be down to earth, dude. We're just like you, you know? And it's all part of that facetious fucking programming. You know, they either want you to be facetious or indifferent. You know, 90% of the time they want you to be like indifferent and fucking mentally out of it, spiritually dead, and with intervals of being facetious. Oh shit, dude, that's so fucking funny, bro. Oh my god. So, you know, life was never like this. This whole American dream thing is literally just the last like 60, 70 years. And it's you know, people are waking up. You know, it's all in the words. Return to your regular programming. Okay, so TV has been a huge tool in this programming. Is television, and now we have cell phones. And you know, they're obviously doing the number games for the group conscious, like, oh, this has 3,000 likes, I'm just gonna like it. I don't really like it, it's not even that funny or cool, but I'm just gonna like it because I want my account to be associated with the group conscious. It's like fucking unfollow those influencers. Watch how more empowered and free you feel. Unfollow the influencers. That's, you know, unplug from this alternate reality. And you might not be rewarded with wealth, you know, but you'll at least feel good, like, about yourself, and you'll be able to look out at the bullshit instead of being in it. But there's a lot of people like that are kind of savvy on a lot of this stuff, and like Jay Dyer. I mean, I was talking about Jay Dyer, but no, I mean, it's pretty impressive that he has way over 100,000 subscribers, and he gets into, you know, esoteric mind control shit that we've, you know, been all put under through like movies and television and stuff. So it's like, there's more people that are waking up than you think. So you think like, oh, if like a lot of times I'll say the most like conspiracy type shit on my Instagram where you think you'll lose like 100 followers, and you actually don't lose any followers because you're being authentic, and you'll gain followers too. So be true to yourself, because people know when you're bullshitting. Like if you're not authentic and true to yourself, people could pick up on that pretty easily. Okay, I think I've gone off enough. Again, happy New Year's to all of you people.